This fix helped my laptop a lot, and because of that I can fully recommend the LLano v12 for my current issue with the MSI Vector 16HX AI. If you watch my previous video playing v07, then yes, this fixed the issue of the BIOS that MSI screwed up. So you can stop here, and I can say thank you for watching. But if you stick around, I'll explain why this might also be the solution for your laptop's long-term health, not just temperature. So please stay until the end. In this video, we'll break it down into 4 parts. Heat dissipation, fit on the MSI Vector 16HX AI, benefits to your laptop's health, things to avoid and consider when using LLano or any similar product. Let's jump into it. Heat dissipation. You've probably seen it online already. Yes, it really can reduce temperatures by up to 20 degrees Celsius. In my previous video, b07 was throttling hard, reaching 105 degrees Celsius, even without max performance enabled. After using the LLano, temperatures are now much more stable. During heavy loads, the CPU stays around 80 to 85 degrees Celsius, with occasional spikes to 90 but quickly stabilizing back to 85. Before this, and yes, I'm looking at you, latest BIOS, it was much worse. Here's a quick guide for LLano fan speeds based on usage. On 600 RPM for light tasks like watching videos, browsing, or light SketchUp work with no rendering. Temperatures stay around 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. You can even use eco mode without the LLano here. On 1000 to 1200 RPM for light gaming or older titles that don't heavily push the CPU. Temperatures stay around 70 to 75 degrees Celsius. On 1600 to 2000 RPM for heavy gaming like Indiana Jones on max settings with path tracing b07 or any CPU intensive title. Temperatures remain around 80 to 85 degrees Celsius. Take note, all of these results are on performance mode, with max fan turned off. Just imagine the laptop not pushing itself to the limit constantly. I'll explain why that matters later. Fit on the MSI Vector 16 HX-AI 2024-2025. At first glance, the fit looks perfect, almost like the laptop is sitting on a throne. However, I did notice a design bump on the bottom of the laptop that causes some air to leak out on both sides. Does this affect heat dissipation? In my experience, not in any meaningful way. When pressure is applied, the air leak is slightly reduced, but I chose to keep it as is. I also tried using the provided hooks. Unfortunately, I almost closed the lid onto the hook, so I decided not to use them. They didn't really help with the air leak anyway. As you can see in the video, this cooler easily fits my 16-inch laptop, and it should work with laptops up to 18 inches. Benefits to your laptop's health. First, reduced fan stress. I disabled max fan and set the laptop fan to auto instead of cooler boost. You can also do this manually using FN up arrow. This allows the CPU to perform at full power without forcing the internal fans to pull extra wattage just to manage heat. In my setup, I set the LLano to 2000 RPM. For reference, the LLano has its own 36-watt power adapter, so it does not draw power from your laptop. Second, dust control. This one surprised me. In my previous video, I showed that my laptop already had dust buildup on the internal fans, and that was after being cleaned less than 2 months ago. The LLano has its own removable dust filter. This filter has only been used for 2 weeks, and it already collected a significant amount of dust. The good part is that you can clean or wash the filter and reuse it. LLano also includes an extra filter in the box. This means your laptop consistently pulls in clean air as long as you remember to maintain the filter. Things to avoid and consider when using LLano. First, the hooks. If you decide to use the hooks or extender, be careful not to close the laptop lid while they're attached. That can damage the screen. Second, forgetting to turn it on. Because I use a fixed desk setup, my laptop usually boots straight into performance mode with minimal fan noise. Sometimes I forget to turn the LLano on before gaming. When that happens, I notice the heat and throttling almost immediately. I'm not sure if there's a way for the cooler to communicate with the laptop automatically. From what I've seen in other reviews, it only reacts to laptop airflow demands. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. Third, forgetting to turn it off. I usually turn off the LLano's LED lights. Sorry, I'm not a fan of RGB. Please don't judge. When I shut the laptop down, I sometimes walk away and later hear a fan still running. That's when I remember. The LLano is still on. Fourth, portability. This is not a portable cooler. Unlike small USB fans that run on 5 watts, the LLano requires a 36-watt power adapter and a wall outlet. You can bring it with you, but it's large. It won't fit in a regular laptop bag and really needs a separate case. Once MSI fixes the thermal behavior through BIOS updates, I probably won't bring this with me anymore. But right now, without it, my laptop easily hits 100 degrees Celsius even on balanced mode. One more thing, the additional ports on the side. Yes, they are useful based on your setup, but for me I already have an external docking with USB-C and USB-A, so I did not use it. But that's a plus.